Good morning. Well, wasn't going to, but I am. I guess when it rains, it pours, and so I went for a nice long bike ride, and look at that tree. Oh my, just so beautiful, absolutely. And what really encouraged me was, I don't know if you can see, but in the distance there are two lovely elderly ladies talking to each other, one with a walker. And as I came to the park and through the park, I met this lady with a walker, going for a walk, saying a bright, beautiful, good morning to me that was absolutely wonderful. My goodness, I figured if she is traipsing around here with a walker to get her exercise, and then I should stop and just thank and count my blessings and take it from there. So that's why she inspired me to stop, sit down at the park bench. Yep, right there. There's my Cadillac. Oh, there's somebody flying on top here. And inspired me to just stop, turn on my live Facebook feed, and share what I had just experienced with you. You know, that's really what these podcasts are all about. It isn't about this and it isn't about that, but it is about sharing my feelings. And that's why, yes, look at that. And that's why they sometimes come in spurts. You know, there are sometimes I have feelings and I'm not always prepared to share some of those feelings, but I find it far more liberating when I do. And so some days you'll hear me sharing all kinds of stuff, and the next day I'm talking agriculture and farming. Well, that was my sharing moment to you this morning. Agriculture, you bet. We are continuing to take off the 2020 crop. No, it's not a record bin buster, but maybe a bin buster in some cases, especially when people didn't think they were going to have that big a crop. And then the crop has turned out to be bigger. And a lot of people forget what an average crop is like. And I've shared this many times. 1967, I was farming full time, and it looked like there would be no end. And of course there hasn't been, but at the same time, we had 500 acres of wheat between my brother Jack, my dad Henry C. Siemens, and myself. And that year it was dry, but at the same time the crop turned out wonderful. Those 500 acres of wheat, which was about 60% of our acres. I'm not sure. I think we had around 1,200, maybe 1,100. I'm not sure. But 500 acres of red spring wheat, and they averaged 40 bushels an acre. It was an absolute bumper record crop on the Siemens farm, and probably in that particular area. First of all, not everybody farmed 1,000 acres in 1967, and we did. And not everybody had 500 acres of wheat. And we had just a wonderful time harvesting that wheat. And we had a relatively new 95 John Deere combine. And boy, did that combine sing. And then I remember there was a neighbor. His name was Corny. He had the same combine. And often we talked to my dad, who was still then very much the boss, and a good boss, and a good farmer, a great farmer. And, this neighbor would zoom along his field. Sometimes it seemed like twice as fast. And Dad just said, wait, just wait. because that particular field, he says, wait till fall. Sure enough, green, thick, almost like hair on a dog, we would used to say. Hoppenhund, thick green, which really should have been in a hopper. Now it was volunteer grain. Well, Dad said, I don't want that on my field. I want it in the hopper, and if it's in the hopper, I can get it to the elevator and they'll pay me for it. Doesn't do any good to have to work it down in fall yet before next year. So that was one point. So getting back to the 40 bushels an acre, and I haven't seen a lot of yields, but I think it was last year where my brother Jack, on some of that same land, he went 92 bushels an acre or thereabouts on that same land, wheat. This year, it's not a bumper crop, it's an average crop, but the average is more like 70, not 40 like it was in 1967. But don't get me wrong, the costs have skyrocketed, to say the least. And that's why the throne speech has got farmers totally upset, especially the farm leaders. Many of those farm leaders had initially not so much bought in, but they went along with all this climate thing stuff, and now all of a sudden it's coming back, not just to bite you in the butt, it's biting you right there in the bottom line. Carbon tax, renewed some kind of a fuel standard, and just absolutely. But at the same time, the crop is still average to above average, 1967, way above average, but the costs are so much greater. So that's my little story this morning about farming, and sitting here in the Bethel Heritage Park. I'm getting ready to have my 5 grandsons, age 6, 10, 10, I think 12, almost 13, and then 14, over for a sleepover tonight. And that's going to be fun. I'm cooking. I'm the chief cook and bottle washer, maybe, but I like to have things cleaned up by the time they're finished eating. It doesn't always work that way, because sometimes these boys, and they are boys, great boys, nice boys, loving boys, sometimes these boys are boys, and they take plates over to where maybe they shouldn't be, and then the traces I find next day, empty bottles, empty plates, and some food left over, and it's not always in the plate. But you know what? Everything has its season. And the couches that my wife used to save and not shun, almost shun, protect, and use sparingly kind of thing, they're getting lots of use, and that's good. Thank you, boys. I hope. Thank you, Laurel, and thank you, Kevin. And on Sunday, we're heading to a lake somewhere, Turtle Mountain, 2-hour drive. Sunday morning, you bet, we're going to have a picnic. We're going to be out there having a fishing picnic. Boat, water, fish, food, family, fellowship. Okay, so that's it for now. Got to get home. My daughter's coming to pick me up. I'm going to buy some groceries for tonight. So take it easy. Have yourself a great and godly day. Have a safe day. Have a healthy day. Have a productive day. And as a friend of mine tells me when she's leaving, create a lovely day. And you know what? So much truth to that. We can create a day. Sometimes it goes a little different, but we still are in charge most of the time how we're going to respond to the things that happen to us during the day. And today, I'm just wishing you God's blessing. Have a great and godly day. Somewhere, sometimes, somehow. Thank you, Andres Blatz, Julius Reimer, Patrick Siemens, Boss Warsaw, for watching this morning. Hey, I love doing this. I love doing it because I can express my feelings. God has given me that talent to talk. Yep, I didn't always have it. I had to develop it. So can you. So, all of you, thank you. And to you, those of you that will watch later, have a great day. Somewhere, sometime, somehow, I will see you again.